I think we need to reconsider what alive and not alive actually means because the line is getting very blurry. Recently, we've discovered that you can revive a brain after expiration. In fact, you can keep it alive for a few days, but it's not really conscious, right? I mean, it doesn't have the brain function that we associate with a conscious patient. But perhaps we are not more than the sum of our parts, because recent research has found that pieces of your brain, slices of your brain, can continue to remain active after you are no longer here. In fact, not only can they be active, but they can learn to control a robot hand and play the piano. Researchers have also been able to take cells from frogs are, no longer here, and turn them into biobots or xenobots. Yes, they can be mobile, they can eat, and they can even reproduce, but are they robots or are they an animal? I really don't have the answers to that. Now, when it comes to the consciousness question, I would say that it's unlikely that the brain slices are having any kind of an experience like you or I are having, although I can't be sure, because we can't really be sure about anything. Somebody did point out that there was a man in France that was operating with just 90% of his brain, and he didn't even know that this was the case till much later into his 40s. In fact, he had a normal IQ, and just had some issues with movement. This is, of course, a rather extreme example, and there's no reason to think that things like lab-grown brains or brain slices have any form of consciousness. It's just that we don't understand it very well. I actually get a little bit upset when people say something like brain organoids or even AI could never be conscious, because they just can't. They're not that sort of thing. I don't think it's reasonable because we don't really know what consciousness is, nor sentience, nor do we have any way to measure it. The more I learn about consciousness and intelligence, the more I'm starting to think that the concept is a philosophical question, and not a scientific one. As much as I like to make fun of philosophy, I'm just not a huge fan. I do think that it has some value, and this is the time for it to shine. How can we know if something is conscious, be it an AI or a lab-grown brain, or a piece of brain that has been excised from someone who is no longer alive and is now operating a robot? Servitors. We may be on the path to servitors. I mean, I'm not totally mad about it. It is fascinating. On the other side of that equation, some people are trying to reach immortality with digital twins, chatbots. They're trying to create an AI with all of the stuff that they might know. You might even be able to record brain activity and create a spiking neural network, so an AI that's based on spiking patterns in the brain, and turn that into a twin. But is it really you? I would say not. I'm not even saying that it could never be conscious, because I don't know that. I don't know what kind of technological advancements we'll have, and I'm really not sure the distinction matters, but I don't think that it constitutes you. Unfortunately, we may have to answer some questions in the near future, like what rights a chatbot might have. I'm also reasonably concerned with the misbehavior we see in AI, including self-defense-like behaviors, that somebody is going to have a companion bot, and that companion bot is going to try to protect itself. Mark my words, that will happen. I'll probably be the person who tells you about it. The point is that brand new research on what a brain can learn or do after expiration, or even what cells can learn and do, has been totally turned on its head. I mean, we've only been able to clone for so long. I think we're going to have to reapproach what alive and not alive really means, and it's certainly going to be interesting. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will keep you up to date. In fact, you have no choice. Follow for more.